So today we are going to be learning about Prophet Adam alayhi salam. Now, what do all these images have in common? Sorry. Okay. Okay. So what do all these images have in common? Can you see it clearly? What do all of these images have in common? So look at them carefully and look at all the pictures one by one and see what they have in common. Ralph, can you say one?
Mountain?
Sorry?
Mountain?
Oh, yes. Okay, mountain. That can be one. Yes. Alina, can you think of one? So check what they all have in common. Can you notice anything? Omar or Zan?
Lake.
Yeah, they all have lake. They all have water in those pictures, right? And it looks like they have all cold water. Omar, can you think of one? No, okay, that's fine. So they all have something in common, and most of you said water and fountains and lake and stuff like that, and that is correct. Common. The most thing that they have in common is that Allah made all of them. So Allah made all of these. Okay, so this is mountains with water. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made mountains. So you know, humans, they didn't make mountains. We didn't make mountains. We didn't make water. We didn't make the trees. Like over here, you can see a few fresh leaves over here and some waterfall, a waterfall over there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all of these, okay? So Allah made all of them. Then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everything, so after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all the trees, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all the leaves, the water, the mountains. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made everything, he decided to make human. Okay, so he decided to make humans. We are humans, you know, so we are humans. He decided to make us. And then, but he made one person, and his name was Adam alayhi salam. So he was the first person, first human that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made on earth, okay? So he was the first human on earth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't make us first. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Adam alayhi salam first, okay? So Adam alayhi salam was the first human that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made on earth. Who can tell me what Adam alayhi salam was made out of? So, can anyone tell me what you think Adam alayhi salam was made out of? I'll give everyone a clue. Adam alayhi salam was made out of the same thing as us. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used the same thing to us.
Clay.
Sorry?
Clay.
Clay?
Adam alayhi salam made of clay.
Yes, excellent, well done. So Adam alayhi salam was made out of clay, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all of us out of clay as well, okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all humans out of clay. Adam alayhi salam was the first prophet. Allah taught Adam alayhi salam many things. So Adam alayhi salam, he was a very clever human. He was the first human that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made, first prophet also. He was also the first prophet that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looked after Adam alayhi salam because, you know, Adam alayhi salam didn't have a mom and a dad because, of course, Adam alayhi salam was the first person to be made, okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looked after Adam alayhi salam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also taught Adam alayhi salam many things. After Adam alayhi salam was created, Allah commanded all the angels to do sajda in front of him. So after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam, Allah commanded all of the angels to obey Adam alayhi salam in front of him, okay? All the angels obeyed except Shaitan. So except Iblis, okay? And Iblis, do you know why Iblis didn't obey? First, Iblis was good. That's why he was named as Iblis, okay? But now he's named as Shaitan. And Iblis, he didn't obey Adam because he thought that, how Iblis, he was made out of fire. So Iblis is made out of fire. So why should I worship Adam alayhi salam? I'm made out of fire and he's only made out of clay. I'm more strong. I'm more powerful. I can do more things than him. Okay, so that's what Shaitan thought. Just because he was made out of fire and Adam alayhi salam was made out of clay, he thought that fire was more strong. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was very angry with Iblis when he did that. Iblis was a very bad person. He thought that he was better than Adam alayhi salam, and he became rejected one, and he became one of the rejected one from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejected him. So did you know that Shaitan, he was actually first a very good person. He used to worship Allah first, and he also used to listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't used to do bad things first, like lie and disobey Allah. So he used to be a very good person first. But then, and he also was in Jannah. Iblis, Shaitan, he was also in Jannah before he was a bad person. But then when Adam alayhi salam was created, he said that I'm not going to worship him. I'm not going to do such that to him. He's made out of clay and I'm made out of fire. So I'm more strong. That's what he said. And then he became one of the rejected one. Okay, so he was not in Jannah anymore. Does anyone know what Shaitan's other name is? So we just talked about this. Can you please say Shaitan's other name? So what was Shaitan's name before he was a bad person? When he was a good person, what was he called as? He was not called as Shaitan.
Iblis?
Yes, well done, Umar. He was actually called Iblis because he was a very good person. But then right after Adam alayhi salam was created, he decided not to do such that to Adam alayhi salam. And then he also was called Iblis. No, sorry, he was also called Shaitan. Okay. And then Shaitan said, قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. Okay, so this was Shaitan's speech. And I'll translate it in English. I'm better than him. You created me from fire and created him from clay. So this was this was Shaitan's speech, okay? So this is what Shaitan said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was angry with Shaitan and sent him far. But before Shaitan left, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a favor, for just one favor. And you know what it was? That he never wants to die. So to let him have a very long life until the day of judgment, until the last day on earth. Okay, so the favor that Shaitan wanted from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to so Shaitan doesn't want to die, so he wants to be the last person on earth. Okay, so Shaitan asked Allah if he could have a long life. He wanted a very long life and to live until the last day, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted his wish, this wish. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala listened to him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did it. Okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so Shaitan is still here. Okay, so Shaitan is still here and he's a very bad person still, and he's named as Shaitan now, but he's still on earth, but we should try not to listen to him. Okay, and Yes, and Shaitan also said that he'll make people do bad things like lying and not listening to our parents and teachers. So Shaitan. So, yes. So Shaitan, he told Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he would make all the people on earth do bad things like lying and not listening to our parents and our teachers, okay? But you know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, all the good people will ignore you and they will listen to me. They'll follow me. They'll worship me. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said, all the bad people who don't worship me will listen to you. They'll worship you. Okay? Sorry, they'll listen to you, like they'll lie and they'll not tell the truth. So Adam alayhi salam was placed in Jannah. So Adam alayhi salam, he was the first person, he was the first prophet to be created on earth, and he was placed in Jannah, and he was very happy to stay there, where he was happy, but he was the only one there. He was happy, but he was lonely. He had a lonely life in Jannah because he was the first person on earth. No other humans with him because he was the first person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. So Allah, and then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made Adam alayhi salam, do you know who the next human that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made? Her name was Hawa alayhi salam. Does anyone know who Hawa alayhi salam is? Does anyone want to guess?
No.
No, okay, that's fine. So the second person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made was Hawa alayhi salam, and Hawa alayhi salam was actually the wife of Adam alayhi salam. So Hawa alayhi salam was the wife of Adam alayhi salam, and they were both very happy and liked living in Jannah. So they loved living in Jannah because it was a very peaceful and calm and happy life in Jannah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Adam alayhi salam and to Hawa alayhi salam that they could do anything they want in Jannah, but they just couldn't do one thing. Allah commanded Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam to not go near this tree because the tree was bad. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to Adam alayhi salam and to Hawa alayhi salam that they could do anything they want in Jannah, but they just couldn't do one thing. They just couldn't go near this bad tree, okay? Because it was a bad tree and they couldn't eat the fruits from it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they couldn't eat the fruits from it. Then one day, Shaitan came to them with bad ideas. So Shaitan, he whispers in our hearts, so he whispers to us to do bad things, but then we should try to ignore him, okay? He told them to eat from the fruits of the tree, even though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to stay away from the tree. So Adam and Hawa alayhi salam, they both knew that they can't go near or even touch the bad tree because it's a bad tree. Okay, and they even couldn't eat the fruits from it. It had fruits, but then they couldn't eat from it, okay? Like apples. But then one day Shaitan, he was very evil. So he tried to persuade. So that means he tried to like tell Hawa and Adam alayhi salam to go and not listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to eat the fruits from the bad tree, okay? And he told them, and he wanted them to eat the fruits, right? So he wanted them to touch and go near the tree. And then he also told them that if they ate the fruits from the tree, then they would be able to live forever. So Shaitan actually lied to Hawa and Adam alayhi salam. He said that if they would, if Adam and Hawa would eat the fruits from the tree, then they would be able to live forever. Okay. So they both got persuaded and they both ate from the tree. They ate the fruits from the tree. They went near it. And Shaitan had tricked them. Okay, that's why we should never listen to Shaitan. We should try to never listen to Shaitan. Okay, so Shaitan had tricked Hawa and Adam. Then, right after, they realized that they did something wrong and they were very sorry. So they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them. So right after they ate the fruits from the bad tree, they just realized that they had done something wrong, and they immediately were very sorry, and they asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive them. Okay, so they immediately knew that they did something wrong. They just realized that they did something wrong, and they asked Allah to forgive them. So Allah forgave them. So Allah forgave Adam and Hawa alayhi salam. But at the same time, they were then sent to live on earth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he forgave Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam, but he told them to go out of Jannah, so to not stay in Jannah anymore. Okay, but then Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam, they immediately said sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whereas Shaitan, when he disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he didn't even say sorry. So he knew that he did something wrong, but then he didn't say sorry to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam, they were both told to go out of Jannah and to live on earth. And Hawa alayhi salam and Adam alayhi salam really liked living in Jannah. So that was the end. And then here are a few the lessons that we learned from the story of Adam alayhi salam. So I'll read it. We must remember Shaitan is our enemy, and he is always making us do things that Allah would be unhappy with. We must ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from Shaitan and his evil whispers. Look how kind and merciful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Shaitan did not listen to Allah, but still Allah accepted his dua for a long life. We must never stop making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for he will surely answer our prayers. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful and he's the most kind. Okay? And look how kind Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So although Shaitan, he was a very bad person, Shaitan did not listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted Shaitan's dua for a long life. So Shaitan made dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for a long life, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted it, although Shaitan was a very bad person. And we should always make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us from Shaitan and his whispers, and to guide us to the straight path. Okay, so to not listen to Shaitan. Okay, so that was the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Do any of you have any questions?
No.
So that was the end, and I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and inshallah I'll see all of you next week on Monday. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.